So in this video, we're going to start to learn about calculating percent composition. So just as a review, to calculate a percent, what we do is you take the part and you divide it by the whole or the total and multiply by 100, and that gives you a percentage. So we are going to learn about percent composition of a compound. So we can be given that in mass, but we can also in grams, like in a problem, or we could also use our molecular weights and formula weights in order to figure this out. But we need the mass of each of the components, and then we need the mass of the entire compound, and then we multiply by 100. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples where you are actually told the mass, and then in the next video, we'll go ahead and we'll look at how to get it from just the chemical formula. So this example says, calculate the percent composition of a compound that is made of 29 grams of silver and 4.3 grams of sulfur. So I have the mass of the parts. I have 29 grams silver and 4.3 grams sulfur. And if I add them together, then I have the mass of the whole, which would be at 33.3 grams. So to find the percent that is silver, I just take 29 divided by 33.3, multiply by 100, and I get 87.1%. And then if I do that with the sulfur, I take 4.3 grams of sulfur, divide it by 33.3 grams, and multiply by 100, and I get 12.9% sulfur. Now, I'm going to kind of take that same problem, and under the Elmo, I'm going to demonstrate how to sort of go in the other direction. Okay, so actually let's do a different example. So let's say I have a compound and it's 49% copper. Oops, let me see. Copper. And it's 51%, we'll say, chlorine. Okay, and let's say my overall mass of the compound is, let's just say, I've got 89 grams of that stuff. And so what we could be asked is, well, how many grams of copper do I have and how many grams of chlorine do I have? So by using the percentages and the whole, so remember you've got part over whole times 100 equals my percentage, right? So in this case, what I actually want to do is I want to solve for the part. So algebraically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the percentage that I have and divide it by 100. Okay, so I've divided by 100 on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply by the whole value. And that will give me the part. Right, so I've multiplied by the whole here, and it cancels, and I multiply by the whole, and that's how I get this equation here. So I'm going to take 49% divided by 100 and multiply it by 89 grams. So essentially it's 0.49. Oops, let me just zoom out a little bit so we can see everything there. So I'm going to take 0.49 or 49 divided by 100 and multiply it by 89, and I get that 43.61 grams are copper in that sample. And then I would take, well, 51 divided by 100 times 89. So I take 0.51 times 89, gives me 45.39 grams are chlorine. So that tells you the parts that I have. And if I wanted to double check my work, I could look and see, do these two add to 89? So do all my parts add to the whole? I add 43.61 to this, I get 89 grams.